One heated argument, a slammed door, and suddenly you're on a path you never intended to take. This is a story about that moment, about a boy named Leo, and a single text message that changed everything. It was a Tuesday afternoon, gray and unforgiving, just like the mood inside Leo's house. He and his mom were in the middle of a familiar battleground, the messy state of his room. But this time, it felt different. The words were sharper, the frustration thicker. "I wish I didn't have a son like you," his mom yelled, her voice cracking. Leo's world froze. He shot back with the cruelest thing he could think of, "Then maybe you shouldn't have one." The silence that followed was deafening. Without another word, Leo grabbed his backpack, shoved his laptop and a few clothes inside, and stormed out, the front door slamming shut behind him like a final, unchangeable verdict. He walked for hours, aimless, fueled by a cocktail of anger and hurt. The city lights began to blur as dusk settled in. He found himself at a cheap motel, the kind with a flickering neon sign that promised vacancy and anonymity. He paid for a room with the emergency cash he'd saved up. The room was small and smelled of old cigarette smoke, a stark contrast to the familiar scent of his home. Loneliness, cold and heavy, began to creep in. He pulled out his phone, his thumb hovering over his mom's contact. A part of him, the part that was still a little boy scared of the dark, desperately wanted to call her, to hear her voice. But his pride, that stubborn teenage armor, held him back. Just then, his phone buzzed. It was a message from his mom. His heart leaped with a strange mix of hope and anxiety. He opened it. The words on the screen were like ice water in his veins. "Since you've decided to leave, don't ever come back." Leo's breath hitched. He read it again and again, each word a hammer, blow to his already bruised heart. So it was true. She didn't want him. The anger he felt earlier was gone, replaced by a hollow, aching emptiness. He threw the phone against the wall, a sob finally escaping his chest. He was truly alone. The next few days were a blur of cheap fast food, sleepless nights, and the constant hum of the motel's faulty air conditioner. He tried to find a job, but runaway teen with no experience wasn't exactly a resume builder. The money was running out fast. He felt annoying guilt mixed with his sorrow. He remembered all the times his mom had stayed up with him when he was sick, the way she'd cheer the loudest at his soccer games, the smell of her baking on Sunday mornings. Were all those memories a lie? He replayed their fight over and over in his head. Her words had been harsh, but his had been just as cruel. The thought was a constant, tormenting companion. One evening, desperate for a human connection, he went to a nearby library to use the free internet. He logged into his email, and his eyes widened. There were dozens of unread messages from his mom, each more frantic than the last. "Leo, please call me. I'm so worried. Honey, where are you? Please just let me know you're safe. I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it. I love you so much." And then he saw it in email with a screenshot of a text conversation. It was the message he had received, but the screenshot showed the full context. The message he got was only part of it. What she had actually written was, "Your father is just as angry as I am. He said that since you've decided to leave, don't ever come back. But I don't believe that. I'm coming to find you." For some reason, only the middle part of the message had been delivered to his phone. A wave of relief and shame washed over him so powerfully he felt dizzy. It was all a misunderstanding. A terrible, horrible misunderstanding amplified by a technological glitch. She hadn't given up on him. She was looking for him. He hadn't just run away from home. He had run away from the one person who was desperately trying to bring him back. Tears streamed down his face, dropping onto the public library keyboard. He looked at his reflection in the dark screen, a tired, thin face he barely recognized. He knew what he had to do. He spent his last few dollars on a bus ticket home. The journey felt endless. Every mile brought him closer to the moment of truth, and his stomach churned with a mix of fear and longing. What would he say? What would she say? As the bus pulled into his hometown, his heart pounded against his ribs. He walked the familiar streets back to his house, the same path he had stormed down in anger just a week ago. The porch light was on, a warm beacon in the cool night. He hesitated at the front door, his hand trembling as he reached for the knob. Before he could knock, the door swung open. His mom stood there, her face etched with worry, her eyes red-rimmed. The moment she saw him, her expression crumpled into pure relief. They didn't say anything. They just rushed into each other's arms, holding on tight as if to make up for all the lost time, for all the unspoken words. "I'm so sorry," they both whispered at the same time, their voices thick with emotion. In that embrace, all the anger, the hurt, and the misunderstanding melted away, replaced by the simple, powerful truth of their love for each other. They went inside, and Leo was hit with the comforting smell of home. His room was still messy, but it no longer mattered. He was home. This story is a powerful reminder of how easily communication can break down and how quickly misunderstandings can spiral. It's a reminder to lead with love, especially when we're angry. Sometimes the messages we receive aren't the ones that were sent. So before you let pride or hurt build a wall, take a breath. Reach out. A single conversation can bridge any distance. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next video.